Hey, what's up, team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. This video is on setting achievable goals and planning for success. So before digging in, let's talk a little bit about it. As always, in this video, I'm going to be going over two different models and techniques, basically, to help you reach your goals. These are very strong and actually very well known if you've studied NLP and goal setting. So if that's you, you might already know these, but I'm going to be kind of fleshing them out a bit. Appropriate goal setting can be used for any kind of goal. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. It could be a big goal like raising your salary or, just changing your life completely, transforming into a different situation. Or it could be a smaller goal like losing a couple pounds, eating a little bit healthier, whatever that could be. Also confronting a friend about a conflict, that's a goal as well, trying to figure out how you can better explain whatever the situation is and get a result that you want. Or finding the motivation to clean your house and dealing with the environment around you in a little bit better way. So let's look at the first model. The first one is SMART. So this stands for specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, realistic or relevant, and timed. SMART. So specific, you need to get really descriptive and clear with the numbers and the qualifications and the details of your goal. A lot of the reason why people don't complete their goals is because they don't know exactly what they want. I want to lose weight. Well, what does that mean? How much weight is that? Because you might achieve that and not even really realize it. Also, another problem that can come out through not having specific goals, which is tied into this, is having goals phrased in the negative form. So I want to quit smoking is not a good goal. I want to be healthy and, have cleaner teeth and happier, healthier lungs and things like that is a better phrased goal because your mind, your brain doesn't know what to do with negatives. So if you say, I want to not be this, it hears it as I want to be this. So you have to be really careful with that, as well as phrasing and giving specific details towards your goal. One way to do this is look at the 5 W's and 1 H. So who, what, where, when, why, and how. If you can flesh all of those out, then you will have a very clear-cut, well-defined goal that other people can also see and track for you. And if it's that clear, then it's something that you can actually get to. Next, measurable. Galileo said, measure what can be measured and make measurable what cannot be measured. So there's a lot to do with making measurable goals, just in general. Like if you can measure something, you can work towards improving it. If you can't measure it, you don't know if you're improving or if you're going backwards or anything like that. So finding a way to measure whatever it is, get some empirical data if you can, that will make it a lot more easily obtainable because you know exactly what you're shooting for. When I was overweight, I wanted to lose weight. I bought a scale and I stepped on the scale every day. It was a measurement. I could see, am I going towards my goal or away from it? How do you know if you are making progress? That's the big question. Next, attainable or achievable. There are some different ways of thinking about this. How big can you dream? I think you should make really big goals, but I also feel that there's a lot of truth in the idea that they need to be achievable and attainable as well, and that kind of lowers the goal's height. Does that make sense? So make your goals lofty, but keep them attainable. because it gives you something to aim for that you know you can complete, and then you can go on to the next goal. So what you can do with this is, if you have a really big goal, make that big goal and make sure that you know that that is a big goal, and then break that down into smaller pieces. And then figure out what steps will you take in order to reach that. This part will also come up in the next model. So these both are connected. Next is realistic and relevant. Is completing this goal actually going to help you? Is it really what you want? You need to do an ecology check. And what that is check the different aspects of your life, your relationships and work and health and your house and money, all these things. Check to see what you achieving that goal will impact. Because sometimes, losing weight or being more motivated to do something, not playing video games, for example, is going to have an impact on your relationships. All of those will. And by having an impact on your relationship, are you okay with that? Are you willing to deal with whatever comes up through that? Or are you willing to maybe cut some ties in order to achieve your goal? If you're not, then that's a sign that the goal might not be something you should go for. Also, timed. When will you achieve it by? This goes along with measurement and specific. If you don't have a time set, then you're not going to do it. Trust me, you'll just procrastinate, probably, like I do, and eventually, when it becomes a real problem, then you'll deal with it, and that's not really good. You want to set your goal, even those non-urgent goals. You want to set them, give them a timeline so that you actually focus on them and deal with them. So going on from there is the next model, score, and these will be all in different pages. I'll break it down a bit. You have symptom, cause, outcome, resources, and effect. The order that I will be explaining these in are a little jumbled because I feel that this actually works out a little bit more naturally. For me, I usually see an outcome that I want first. So there's something that I want, a goal that I want to approach. Then I think about the effects of it. How will obtaining that goal help me? Then the symptoms, what stops you from getting it? The cause, why does that stop you? Resources, what resources would help you? And action, what happens now? So let's take those apart a little bit. First, you have outcome. What do you want? This is what the SMART model gives you. A very clear, specific, measurable, obtainable, attainable, relevant, and timed goal. So you've pretty much already done that. Some extra things that you could do to make the goal and the outcome more appealing and tasty is to add some VAK, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic connections to it. So the more of those that you can add, the more appealing the goal will be. If you make it very visual, very clear, maybe moving the image in your mind, add some sounds to it and some kinesthetic appeal, then it will help. Also, one other thing that can work pretty well is to put that image in front of you as something that you are walking towards. Or if you've done the timeline video before and you understand how your timeline works, you can put that image on the timeline in your future in the correct designated place. And so you will be working towards that. That might be a little too woo-woo for some people, though. From there, effect. This is the meta outcome, also known as the goal behind the goal. So you can have your outcome, but there's something bigger than that. How will achieving your goal actually help other aspects in your life? This is kind of like the ecology check, but it's expanding from it. Like what is the impact going to be by achieving your goal? How great will things really be? And why do you really want this goal? There could be some deeper motivation behind it that you should look at, because that tapping into that is going to give you a lot more fire and a lot more courage and motivation to reach your goal. Also, what other areas will be impacted? So like I said, that ecology check. By you achieving a goal, other things will be impacted. Your life will not be the same in some way. So understanding what will be impacted, what will be influenced, is very important. Next up is the symptom. So what stops you from getting it? You have a goal. What's stopping you from reaching that goal? What's the problem behind everything? What are you experiencing? Think of it like you're going to a doctor. You have your symptoms. My throat hurts, my nose is stuffy, I have a headache. Okay, so those are the symptoms. Your goal is to be healthy, right? Your goal is to not So your goal is to be healthy. In terms of the outcomes and the goals that we're talking about for this, there are different things in your life that are probably not working out right. And then your goal is where all those are pointing. So I don't have money. My relationships are not as good as I want. I keep fighting with this person. I'm a little bit heavier than I want to be. These are all pointing you towards a goal. And so if you understand how all those different pieces are working together, then you can get more direction, more focused. And one thing you can do is to put those images, they're away from motivators, the things that you're kind of running from, put them behind you. So we had the positive goal in front of you, the towards motivation in front of you, and then the away from behind you. So whenever you turn around, you can, run from your problems towards your goal. That might help. I like it anyway. From there, the cause. What is the meta problem? That's the cause. This is the goal behind the problem. So even before symptoms, why does that thing stop you? What's really happening here in this situation? A really good question to ask is, what do you not want to admit to yourself? Because that's probably the real problem, and you should make a goal worded positively in order to deal with that. And what's having this problem allowing you to do? This is a secondary benefit. For example, by smoking, you allow yourself a chance to relax, to de-stress, to take a break, to talk with other people. So there's a benefit behind every action that we do, everything that we think, no matter how bad it could sound, every action that other people take, no matter how much you think it is a negative thing, there's actually a positive intention behind that. And it's very important to understand that when you are trying to approach your goal and setting up these two models. Also, what's the trigger for it all? What's the one trigger that is causing these symptoms, which is stopping you from getting to your goal? Like every time I'm around screaming children, I need to take a break. and go smoke, for example. I don't smoke, but this is just an example. Next, resources. What resources will help you? What part of this is so important that you would do it anyway? That is a powerful resource. If you can work that answer into your goal, you will get a lot of motivation. Like for me, I want to make these videos, but sometimes it's difficult to get the motivation to do it correctly. And so thinking that, well, no matter what, I'm still going to be studying, so why not incorporate things that I'm studying into the videos on the YouTube channel and things like that? By adding that resource in, or finding different ways to encourage myself to study the things that I want, I can use that to impact other people's lives and reach my goals. And what part of the cause ties into the effect? Also, who can help you? There are tons of people in your life that you can ask for support. There are people who have experienced things that you are trying to accomplish. Who can you find that will help you? And what can you use as leverage? Any little tweaks that you can do in your life or using the technology around you can help you. You can find a way to do it. Also, what other skills, tools, ideas, models, etc. do you have? You've lived this long. You definitely have a lot of skills and tools and ideas and different people's approaches that you've seen that you can use and kind of act as if necessary, and use that frame to reach your goal. Also, one more thing, another little woo-woo trick. Arrange a meeting with a future version of yourself. What advice does he or she give? So imagine the you that has already done this and completed your goal, achieved it, happy, healthy, successful, whatever it is. And then imagine that future you coming back to talk to you. Have a meeting with them and just listen to the advice that comes about. What was appropriate? What was good? What was bad? What could have been changed or tweaked a little bit? What resources did you have that could have helped you if you were aware of them? Don't censor it. Just let it happen. Take in those ideas. And next up, very important, action. What happens now? You need to take action. You need to take a first step. What is that first step? Also, imagine going through the first 3 steps. What do you notice? How can you be held accountable? If you need somebody to call you up every day and be like, hey, did you do this? Did you do what we talked about? Then do that. Set that up. If you need to give $100 to somebody and be like, if I don't do whatever I'm trying to do this week, every week, you can have that $100. That's a pretty powerful motivator. That will put you into action. And is there anything you need before you start? Try to find a way to eliminate all those different ways of procrastinating and those excuses, so you are ready to start tomorrow and go through with your goal. One more thing you can do is to imagine your goal, like what do you really want to happen, okay, and then shrink it down. So if that was a 1-year goal, let's say in 1 year I want to be making, $10,000 a month. Then, set up all those ideas, all the goal related techniques and models that we used, and then shrink it down. Okay, so you have 6 months to do that. How do you do that? What's the first things that you need to take care of in order to get that? Okay, that shows you the real priority behind a lot of your actions. And then shrink it down again. Okay, tomorrow. What are you going to do tomorrow? What's the most important thing? If you had to get as close as possible to your goal, starting tomorrow and ending tomorrow, what is the one thing that you would do? So having that little that little time crunch there has helped me a lot too. So I hope it helps you too. So recapping, the two models are SMART and SCORE. SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed. And then SCORE, the symptom, cause, outcome, resources, effect. And the outcome is largely taken care of through the SMART model. All right, so I hope it helped. Please use this. Give it a chance. Make a goal today. Figure out what you want. It doesn't have to be this super difficult one, but get some ideas, get a goal, and then piece it together with SMART, and then throw it into the SCORE model and see all the different symptoms and causes and the resources that you have and the effect that achieving your goal will have. All right? Good luck, have fun. Keep up the lifelong questing. Thank you.